Hello everyone, with the recent release of Bad Boys Ride or Die and the upcoming release of Beverly Hills Cop Axel F, I thought I would go over my favorite buddy cop films. This would be my top 10 favorites. Again, this list will greatly differ from yours, so feel free to share your favorite buddy cop comedies down in the comments below. Starting with honorable mentions would be Starsky and Hutch with Owen Wilson and Ben Stiller. Wonderful comedic adaptation of the TV show. Then Hot Fuzz, underrated Simon Pegg film in the Cornetto trilogy. K-9 with Jim Belushi. Another one that's a bit more sad with dogs is Turner and Hooch with Tom Hanks. And then The Heat with Sandra Bullock and Melissa McCarthy as Ashburn and Mullins. And then lastly would be John Badham's film The Hard Way starring James Woods and Michael J. Fox. This was very hard to compile a top 10 list, but starting at number 10 would be The Other Guys. This is such a funny comedy. In many ways, it's almost like the Mystery Men of cop films, and Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg are great together. They proved that in the Daddy's Home films, but this one especially is funny. Seeing these two hotshot cops played by The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, and Samuel L. Jackson, and then how they go out. Not only does it make fun of Lethal Weapons with like the wife's vehicles, but then it's like aim for the bushes. These people go out on zip lines and they think they can jump and they fall to their death. Probably the most horrible yet hilarious death scene I've seen on film since the gas station explosion in Zoolander. But I love Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg in this film as Alan and Terry. Seeing how they're both different. Mark Wahlberg's more serious, dealing with his girlfriend seeing another man, and then Will Ferrell is with Eva Mendes. The stuff there in his backstory is just hysterical. And I love how they're both complete opposites, yet they work together. The whole Derek Jeter story was just hilarious. Michael Keaton as their boss, who also works at a Bed Bath & Beyond. And the plot they have to uncover. Ray Stevenson, may he rest in peace, the late great Ray Stevenson, is great in this. I think he's been playing Grand Theft Auto, This has a lot of funny humor. If you've never seen The Other Guys, totally check it out. After that is The Last Boy Scout with Bruce Willis and Damon Wayans as Joe and Jimmy. And he's a football player, and Joe is Bruce Willis, a cop. This was written and directed by Shane Black, and you can tell it has that flavor of the first two Lethal Weapons, especially the first one. There's even a moment where Lethal Weapon is shown. I love the content here. It's a hard-boiled buddy cop film that was still around the R-rated era. You could tell it's in 1991. Halle Berry is in an early role. Yeah, this movie just rocked. And it's an underrated Bruce Willis cop film outside of Die Hard, 16 Blocks in Sin City. After that, at number 8 is Tango and Cash. Cash and Tango. Who could forget Jack Palance as a villain? But you have Kurt Russell and Sylvester Stallone. And Sylvester Stallone actually gave like a performance. You don't see Rambo or Rocky. This is when he's trying to be a serious actor, and he is capable of dramatic acting and being in serious roles. He plays a very different character here. And seeing Kurt Russell in the 80s, I love that courtroom scene. This whole thing just fucking sucks. I use that so many times on reactions. Terry Hatcher, of course, playing Sylvester Stallone's sister. Yeah, Yazoo, don't go. Love that song. But I love how these two cops, these hotshot cops, are getting close to the bad guys, and they're framed and have to escape prison and prove their innocence and take down the bad guys. Bad guy being Jack Palance. I love this. This is such a great buddy cop comedy with an unlikely duo with Kurt Russell and Sylvester Stallone. After that, at number 7 would be The Nice Guys with Russell Crowe and Ryan Gosling as Jackson and Holland. Yeah, another Shane Black film. Too bad this film did not get more love. It takes place in the 1970s with private eyes investigating the death of an adult film actress, a porn star. And there's this whole conspiracy and dark web in this world in Hollywood in the 1970s, and I absolutely love this movie. It's serious enough, but Shane Black also delivers comedic moments with the serious elements, and he's top-notch here. I really wish this had a sequel. This is a severely underrated movie. After that is Men in Black. Now, the Men in Black films may not technically be buddy cop movies, but I count them because they're technically cops of the galaxy. They're police officers in many ways. They protect Earth from aliens. So Agent J and Agent K, Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones, unlikely duo, but are just great with like the veteran officer and the rookie. It's almost like the age gap of like Lethal Weapon with like Murtaugh and Riggs, and you get that kind of like back and forth chemistry with them of like the mentor teaching the apprentice in a way. But I love it. Will Smith is just awesome. And he's actually a regular police officer at the beginning when he takes down an alien and then joins a secret organization. They stumble upon this conspiracy, basically. Vincent D'Onofrio plays a cockroach. I need some sugar and water. And Matt Murdock. No, I'm kidding. No, but like, yeah, he plays an alien. And they need to find something called Orion's Belt before this race destroys Earth. So it's like a ticking clock, and it's like Will Smith's first mission as a Men in Black, with Tommy Lee Jones being like his mentor. I love all three films, but the first one especially is just a one-of-a-kind film. Next up would be 48 Hours. I love 48 Hours and Another 48 Hours with Nick Nolte and Eddie Murphy as Jack and Reggie. You know, you have this police officer who Nick Nolte plays, and he's basically with like this wisecracking criminal is like on parole, basically. I love seeing Eddie Murphy as like the criminal element and then Nick Nolte as the law, and how they both work together to basically solve different things in both films and go after the bad guys. And it's a very different role for Eddie Murphy outside of Beverly Hills Cop. The boys are back in town in this. Next up is Beverly Hills Cop. I love all three of them. The fourth one looks great. I wasn't sure whether or not to count this as buddy cops, since it's not just two police officers, but it is kind of a buddy cop formula, with Axel Foley being a Detroit police officer. Basically, the different reasons why Axel Foley goes to Beverly Hills. He's an outsider in Beverly Hills, and he meets Bill and Taggart, and together they must go after the bad guys and solve stuff each time, whether it's the original villain, whether it's the Alphabet Murders, whether it's at Uncle Dave's Park, you know, or whatever the new film Axel F will have. I love seeing the stuff they get into and the kind of chemistry and camaraderie they have with one another, and I can't wait to see everyone back again. After that is Bad Boys. Oh man, Mike and Marcus, Will Smith and Martin Lawrence are just awesome in these films. The nihilistic, gritty nature of the first two Bay films and how young they were and just kind of like pissed off with each other in the world they were, and also the edge they had. But then you get to see them grow up and grow older, you know. Marcus, he already had a wife and kids, so you get to see his family grow up. And then Mike, you get to see him become vulnerable, age, get married. So it's like Lethal Weapon, where the characters go through an arc, and this series allows its characters to age. But more than anything, they're consistent. I mean, the last two Bad Boys films were some of the best. I love it. You know, Michael Bay's has some really crazy action that you still don't see today. But the story in the last two, as far as character development and stuff, I love that Martin Lawrence and Will Smith didn't want to do a quick cash grab, and they actually had stories to tell. And it's been wonderful seeing not only these actors, but these characters age and grow the past couple of decades. After that, number 2 is the Rush Hour trilogy. That's right, Carter and Lee. Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? You know, Chris Tucker and Jackie Chan, great, complete opposites. I love how they delve in the world of like Kung Fu and like the cultural differences. But, you know, seeing one of his friends' daughters kidnapped and dealing with someone who killed his partner, to then Lee dealing with the man who killed his father, to then finding out that his brother, who he thought was dead, is still alive. Hiroyuki Sanada plays him. Oh man, I love all three of these films. They're equally funny. Chris Tucker and Jackie Chan are so hilarious. There's so many funny moments. This is just one of the best buddy cop comedies of the past couple of decades, and I like that they made them, you know. For a while there was just 2 films, and then luckily we got a Rush Hour 3 that might have been the best one of them all. I love Carter and Lee. Would I like a Rush Hour 4? Absolutely, but do we need one? No, I'm happy with this trilogy and how it ended. After that, at number 1, come on, the godfather of buddy cop films, Lethal Weapon. All 4 of them are fantastic. Mel Gibson, Danny Glover as Riggs and Murtaugh. They're too old for this shit now, but back then, oh my god, the age difference. It's one thing that's never talked about in the first Lethal Weapon, of how much younger Riggs was to Murtaugh. And yeah, he was like only 40-something, and he's just like, I'm too old for this shit. I feel you, Murtaugh, I feel you. I love that first film and how suicidal Riggs was. It's like, do you want to jump? Do you really want to jump? Well, then let's do it, asshole. Let's jump. I just love that, and how crazy he is, but then also Murtaugh getting to learn more about him and the tragic backstory with his wife. Who could forget the director's cuts where he actually goes after a school sniper? That scene was just crazy. I love Lethal Weapon 2. That might be my favorite, with the South Africans. Diplomatic immunity has just been revoked. Who could forget Lethal Weapon 3? Rene Russo coming in as Lorna. I love that Riggs, like in Bad Boys with Mike and Marcus, Riggs and Murtaugh are allowed to grow, especially Riggs. He goes through a really fantastic character arc across all 4 Lethal Weapon films, to then finding love and kind of like a family, not only like with his girlfriend, soon-to-be wife, expecting a baby, but finding family with Murtaugh's family. And their chemistry and their relationship is just so heartfelt. And yeah, the late great Richard Donner, man, he made 4 amazing films. And who could forget Jet Li as the bad guy? That final Lethal Weapon was just nuts. And there's going to be a Lethal Weapon 5. Would I like it? Absolutely, but I don't think it's necessary. I think they should end it with 4. But if they do make it, either get Shane Black or most likely Mel Gibson. Despite controversies, Mel Gibson's the only person that can direct a Lethal Weapon and have it stay faithful and true to what came before. And if they make it, I can't wait to see a Lethal finale. But if not, this is my favorite buddy cop film series. Let me know your favorite buddy cop films down in the comments below. Check out these other videos for more content. Stay safe and healthy, everyone. Till next time.